to work in different roles supporting U.S. government in various technology initiatives. In Lagos State, the Ministry of Science and Technology is charged primarily to promote ICT within the state and also to promote STEM or STEAM in the educational space. It is very important for us to know the importance of technology. I will take this opportunity to really thank Edves for making this event possible and inviting me. I did not hesitate when the invitation was extended to me because I know how important this is going to be, not only for the government, but for the state as a whole. Most of us here live in Lagos, and Lagos, with a population of about 22 million people, is the 5th largest economy in Africa. And yet, we still have some of our processes, not only within the government, but across the board, being done in a manual way. But that is not sustainable. It is important for us to embrace technology because that is the way to go. I know I'm preaching to the choir here. We have a lot of educationalists within our midst. It is very important to recognize the role of education in moving the state and also moving the country forward. So my ministry has many initiatives, which I will touch on later as we go along, that we're doing to keep the state moving forward and to achieve the role of a smart city. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Commissioner. Over time, we'd like you to also introduce yourself and also to tell us why, as a community or as a state or even as a nation, what are the things we need to pay attention to that MTN is doing for the community and for the education community as well.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. A very yellow morning to everyone.
Yes.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to say congratulations on your event, the 2021 Edves. I think it's a new path. Very interesting so far. And I'm happy to be here on behalf of MTN. I'd like to wish you a very successful event the rest of the day. Listening to your, I think it's growth team you call them, I was actually wishing, I wish I had a school, I wish I had a school to take advantage of all the features that were on that learning portal. So my name is Omotayo Ojutalayo. I think you said, oh. My name is Omotayo Ojutalayo. I'm the General Manager in MTN, responsible for new business growth. Prior to that, I was the Group General Manager based in South Africa, overseeing small business growth across our 22 markets for about 4.5 years. So I came back to Nigeria just before the lockdown. So I've been home working from home over a year and a bit. In that capacity, I was looking at how MTN using our infrastructure could support small businesses across the 22 markets, helping them to take their services, making them more industrialized, helping them to grow, working with partners, how could we support them, how could we provide IT services to them across those market. So it's interesting to be here, and I'm a mother, and I'm happily married, as we like to say, us women. When I was looking at my profile, somebody, a colleague of mine said, why do people always write happily married? I said, because you could be unhappily married now, so I want you to know that I'm happily married. So welcome to everyone, and to your question, why should we be listening to MTN? I think MTN as an organization has grown in leaps and bounds in Nigeria, right from the very first time we started, almost 20 years now that we started. But looking at education specifically, that has been an area that MTN has shown particular interest, and I'll talk about one or two things that we've been doing. I'm happy that the Honorable Commissioner is here. I think I was in your office about 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks ago, at the Ministry of Science and Tech. We were there meeting with some of your colleagues. And on just that, the MTN Foundation has a Science and Technology Scholarship that we've been running since 2009, I believe. And working together with the ministries, we have been awarding scholarships to well-deserving students across public tertiary institutions in the science and tech courses in the 300 level. So far, about 4,000 students have been benefiting from that, and about 14,000 scholarships have been issued out to the tune of about 2.3 billion. What that entails is that we look at the 300 level science and tech students who have proven themselves, by maintaining a certain GPA, and then we also award scholarships to about 200, if I'm not 200 level visually challenged students in any discipline, just to encourage everyone. And what that entails is that every year those students continue to be awarded that scholarship as long as they maintain that GPA. That has been a program that has been, like I said, has been running since 2009, a well-structured program. But over time, from time to time, we run initiatives in the educational sector. I'd like to talk about one that I'm so happy about, especially because it relates to younger children between the ages of 9 to 15 years, which is our spelling bee. This is done in conjunction with the private schools association, where children in the ages of 19 and 15 are encouraged to improve their spelling and diction. And we not only reward the best spelling students, we reward the teachers who take time to nurture and to teach the students, and we also reward the schools. So it cuts across board. And I must say, I'd like to use this opportunity to say, well done to all the teachers. I think you all deserve to applaud yourselves. I think this COVID has shown us that teachers are really doing a lot. I was at home with my children and I found it frustrating just to even get them to concentrate, especially the boys. The girls are easier to manage. Girls usually we behave ourselves. But my son was on his laptop and in 15 minutes he's looking at a video. So I was like, how do these teachers manage to actually control these children? So well done to you. Thank you. I think you deserve a big clap of applause. We need to continue to pray for you and give you all the encouragement as we look to COVID going away permanently. So those are some of the things that MTN has been doing.
Okay. Thank you very much, Untitled. So now we go further, sir. You mentioned something, and it is very important that you quickly dive into it. You say smart city. I heard you. Many people might not have heard you. And we would like to know, hearing about the project Smart City, they are coming from Third Mainland Bridge, you see the LED board saying Smart City. And I think one of the elements of Smart City is internet facility provision. And we have been hearing about fiber cable all around. Please, can you tell us more about it and how the school can position for this opportunity? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Lagos State government, under the leadership of Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, is committed to make Lagos State a smarter state using the smart city concept. In this administration, we are committed to provide 6,000 kilometers of fiber over the next 2 years. We've accomplished the milestone of 1,800 kilometers of fiber optics cable. What does this mean to us? We are providing an enabling environment, not only for the government, but for the entire state. We're providing this environment so that telecoms can take advantage of the dots that we're providing so that they can reach different areas within the state, every nook and corner. And what does this mean to us? We are in a digital age. The economy is being driven by technology. Without reliable technology, it will be impossible to conduct business. A city of 22 million people, we cannot continue business as usual. We have to leverage technology. And how do we do that? Lagos State government cannot do that. But we have to empower private sectors. We have to empower the telecommunication industry, the likes of MTN, Glo, Airtel, and so on. And I'm glad that the first company to sign on to this initiative of the government is MTN. So, what is this? What's in it for us? It's a whole lot. Look at our schools. We're still relying on the traditional ways of providing instructions. We need to leverage technology, but without connectivity, it's going to be difficult to be done. So, we're going to connect all the schools, all the government schools, and we'll also open it up to the private sectors, to the private schools. So that is to start with, before the end of the year, we're going to connect 100 schools. These 100 schools are being sponsored by private sectors, the likes of Facebook, and also MTN is also assisting us. We believe that when we provide an environment, when we provide the enabling environment, students will be able to learn better, teachers will be able to deliver, parents will be able to participate in the instructions that will be given to their children. But most importantly, when you look at the world today, last year we were impacted by the COVID-19. The pandemic really affected a lot of things. But the running of the business continues. How did we accomplish this? By leveraging technology. We were able to fight COVID back with technology. I will really give a big thanks to the telecommunication industry. They provided the conduit whereby business can be conducted. The same thing goes to the government. We continue to work. Most of our people were working from home. But we provided the enabling environment to our staff so that they can connect back to the Alausa campus using virtual private network, VPN, to continue to conduct the business of the state. So, why am I going to all this? Because if you look at Lagos State, we have the smallest land mass in the country, yet the largest population. So we need to find a way to reach out to our people, not just by driving around. Take advantage of technology. Look at the number of technology that everyone here is carrying. Most of us here, we have our cell phones. And in addition to that, we do have smartphones. And when it comes to education, delivery of education materials is not just by textbooks alone. Today, you really have to take advantage of technology to the instruction materials. In addition, we have to empower the teachers because they are the custodian of knowledge. They have to pass the knowledge to the future generations. And everything will ride on technology. It is very important to let people know that technology is not taking away jobs. Technology is enhancing the way we do things. And that process is going to continue. I really commend our governor for taking the initiative to say, yes, we're moving forward with technology in the state. And when you look around, you probably see a rainbow of dogs, all over. Those are the dogs where we're running the fiber optics cables. Now, you will say, okay, what would that do for me? If you look at security, thank God we all got here safely. But we need to live in a safer community. We need to know what's going on around us. We need to monitor traffic. We need to monitor environment. We cannot station policemen all over the place. We need to use technology, and that's what we're doing. In Ikeja, we've deployed 150 CCTV cameras. We're monitoring the environment. We're monitoring the roads so that we can alert first responders so in case something that is not supposed to be happening is happening. So the first responders will be able to get in touch with either the fire department, with RRS, whether there's need to send ambulance. So again, technology is the driver, and we are committed to continue to use technology. In the education space, during the pandemic, we were able to deploy tablets and smartphones to our students. They continue to learn. We also take advantage. We also deployed. We also use the radio stations to deliver instructions. It is very important that we look at what type of media is available to us and what can we do with it. How can we use that, or how can we use the media to enhance our life? And that's where technology comes in. Because of the speed of delivery, the convenience of delivery, and also the ability to reach different corners of the state. So the state is doing everything to make sure that we're meeting unmet needs, we're bridging the digital divide, and we'll continue to do this because we want to position Lagos to be at the forefront of technology, not only in Nigeria, but in Africa.
Thank you so much, sir. We're very pleased with everything that the Lagos State government is doing and what you're doing from your office as well, together in collaboration with the Ministry of Education. The Commissioner of Education is supposed to be on Zoom. She is currently not available physically. I hope the technical team will be able to bring her on stage on the screen, and then she will be able to talk to us more from our office as well. But I'd like to ask Untitled that considering all the digital services that the telecommunication companies are providing, MTN and the likes, things like the USSD service, which you can use to either buy a recharge card or buy data and what have you. What is the plan for the education community as far as the telecommunication sector is concerned?
For that question, and maybe just to add to what the Honorable Commissioner said, in 100 schools that you want to connect, that project is already ongoing because I'm aware that MTN is involved in that and we're busy working to connect that. So well done. Just to say that it is live, and hopefully within the next couple of months, I believe we should finish that connection for those first batch of 100 schools. So well done, sir. And well done to the Governor of Lagos State. I think Professor Ndubisi, when he started, the very heart of everything he said was knowledge. But I think before that knowledge is technology, which the Honorable Commissioner has mentioned so many times in his response. So technology is at the heart of everything we do. This is the age of technology. If we are not riding with this wave, we might just miss it completely. But from what I see, what you are doing, you're already riding that wave and in leaps and bounds. So well done to Edves. First of all, I'd like to, maybe we should start with some statistics. UNICEF, during the pandemic, there was so much studies going on, and we're able to actually see COVID actually opened up the underbelly of a lot of things in Africa, across the world, and in Nigeria as well. And we found out that the literacy rate in sub-Saharan Africa is said to be about 65%. And for Nigeria, it's a bit lower than that, about 62%. But of course, we have regional disparities across Nigeria, which we understand. But what does that tell us? It just tells us that we have a long way to go yet. Yes, on the positive note, the level of attendance to school has improved over the years, but the outcomes really hasn't. And what do I mean by this? The reports tell us that the 9 out of 10 primary age school children are still not getting the basic foundational learning skills that will provide a ground for them for the future. Things like maths and English is still not as it should be. And then who are those children that are mostly affected? It is those that are in the underserved or vulnerable societies. I think your AC is giving me allergies, so my nose is running. Apologies. So it's those children who are in vulnerable and underserved communities that are mostly affected. And it is those children as well during the pandemic that couldn't access the remote learning tools that we were able to come across, which was in itself not even enough for the number of children that were out of school. But three out of every 4 of those children were for those communities they couldn't access because they didn't have the basic infrastructure, they didn't have the right devices, they didn't have the right access to these tools. So what does that tell us? It also tells us that to address this educational gap, we cannot meet it by using one channel. And I think Professor Edves talked about that as well, and Honorable Commissioner has mentioned that we have to look for different means that we can make education as it is accessible to children who are far from the cities, far from the towns. They live in the villages. How do we get across to them? So your question on USSD is very interesting and a very exciting one. The heart of what we do in MTN is really driven mostly on technology. USSD is a big part of our business. And if the finance institutions can now be running their own services on USSD, why shouldn't education? You know, so for us, I think, and I believe that the GSMA looked at making USSD a means of educating students in the past, and they've been able to put some learning tools on SMS or USSD itself. That's an area where innovation is constantly going. I think in Kenya, in Ghana, and in Nigeria as well, there are some schools who have started to innovate in this area, and there are some initiatives that are running and programs that are running. Schools are managing, proprietors or administrators are managing their schools using USSD. Parents are paying school fees using USSD. Students are being taught, exams are being run using USSD or SMS. But this is an area that is still a lot of innovation to be done. What we are at MTN, we keep saying and pushing out to the public is that we have the infrastructure. We are looking and welcoming to partners who have solutions that are innovative in the USSD space. So I'm speaking to anyone here who has solutions, ideas that can be deployed via USSD to enable to continue to push learning to our children so that no child is left behind. And for me, that is the message that I want to put across, that if you have any solution that you feel that we can deploy via USSD, please speak to MTN and we're willing to partner with you. Thank you.
Definitely, we will continue to talk to you. Let's put hands together for her. Definitely, we will continue to talk to you because at Edves, maybe you are hearing this for the first time, that I should go ahead. We have built a solution that is using two-way SMS technology to take learning to areas where there's no internet connectivity. so that if you are offline, all you just need is to have service to be able to send SMS on your phone. And you can pull content in Nigerian curriculum, British curriculum, and American curriculum, lessons that are micro-developed in a concise way that can fit into SMS. And the name of the product is Key Point, and it's about to be rolled out. And we would like to leverage on the USSD platform of MTN and SMS to be able to do this. So we have a solution, not just an idea. Thank you very much. So, thank you very much, Mutayo, and I'd like to go straight to Honorable Commissioner. Your last word. You can move from best practices to anything. I mean, just your last word for the teachers and then the school leaders seated here. I mean, maybe more in the area of private, relationship with the government. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate giving me the opportunity to come here and talk to the audience this morning. This is very important to me to make sure that I deliver the message of the state to the people of the state. We are doing a whole lot and will continue to improve on everything that we are doing. We believe that access is important. Access is important. We have to open it up, and we're doing that. We want to make sure that we train people on technology, on how to develop applications, how to market the applications, and how to make applications that will work for the people of the state and people of Nigeria. So we are providing an open source initiative whereby people can contribute their ideas and share with other developers. This is ongoing, the development is ongoing, and a major announcement will be made by the governor very soon on this initiative. It is important for us to take advantage of the state of the world today, whereby we're moving in a digital economy. We want to train as many people to be developers, to be able to participate in this economy. If you look at the software market in Nigeria, I would really give a lot of thanks to Edves for making most of us, comply with the local content regulation, because they develop their applications right here in Nigeria. And we're looking forward to work with them. It's very important. There is no other way to look at it. It's very difficult to find dollars to pay for foreign software. We need local content. So we need as many developers as possible. And we're going to make sure that we make that happen. We're seeing a lot of software vendors that are providing free services to our citizens, coordinated through Lagos state government and also through private sector. Oracle is doing that. SAP is doing that. Microsoft is doing it. So the opportunities are out there, and it's up to us to take advantage of them. If you want to learn more about all this, please visit the Lagos State Government website, lagosstategovernment.gov.ng. The importance of technology cannot be overstressed. If you look at the number of startups in Africa, Lagos is the #1 startup destination. This is not by chance. It's because we put the enabling environment so that people will be able to develop, that people will be able to take from the idea and develop solutions that works. We still rely a lot on expatriates in this country. But these are things we can do by ourselves. And I want to encourage the teachers out here to please continue to nurture our students, to continue to grow them in the right direction, because teaching profession is very important. I understand here in Nigeria our regard for teacher is not at the level it should be. Our teachers should be at the forefront, because they are the custodian of our knowledge. I'm repeating that again, because they pass this knowledge to our children, and it is important for us to participate in this digital economy. We have to be educated. We have to know more about technology. We rely a lot on oil for our economy. That's not the case anymore. If you just look at Lagos State. Look at the banking industry, look at the service industry. This is a knowledge-based economy. And that is telling us something, that the future of our country is not with the oil, but it's with our youth. They are the future of our country. They are the one that will take us there. And we need to provide them with the right education. We need to provide the right environment. We need to provide the right resources as government to make sure that they can take us there. Lagos State has a council called LASRIC, Lagos State Research and Innovation Council, where we provide grants to people so that they can pursue whatever they can imagine, develop the idea, write a proposal. So again, stay close to our website. You're going to see a lot of information on LASRIC. A few days ago, the governor also announced that we're building an IT center at Yaba. It's called KITE at Yaba. KITE stands for Knowledge, Innovation, Technology, and Entrepreneurship. This is the commitment that the state is putting forward so that we can make Lagos at the forefront and make the citizens as leaders in the area of technology. This will continue to expand. We have more technological hubs in Nigeria than any other countries here, because Lagos is the #1 destination. In Lagos is the #1 destination for startups. And we're going to continue to nurture that environment. When you have the likes of multinationals like MTN providing the conduit, the data needed to drive the economy, we're in good hands. You see the likes of Facebook investing in Nigeria because they know the direction is going the right way. I can continue to mention, but it is very important for us to understand ourselves, to have the confidence in ourselves that technology is the way to go. There's one company, whenever there is need to solve the problems, they route the calls to the experts at their centers, and they provide the service. Today, they're moving out of their old location, they're moving to a new place because they have to expand and look for growth. So the opportunities is out there, and I encourage our youth to look at technology, to embrace technology, because it's the way. And I take this opportunity to thank everyone, and especially the teachers among us. Thank you very much for everything you're doing. Edves, for providing the software to manage our educational system, to provide a learning environment on technology to really believe that technology is the key to the future is very important, and I thank you for everything.
Thank you very much, sir. I think, we are in the gathering of the educators, and I believe that there will be one or two questions from the audience directly to MTN and Honorable Commissioner for representing the Lagos State. So we would like to entertain two questions. Thank you very much. Just come forward. We'd like to entertain two questions. We already have one person, and then one more person. Okay, I wanted to make the second person to be a lady, but okay, please come. Thank you very much. Please ask your question. Just 30 seconds.
Go where, please. My name is Adiwale Ayodele. I'm from Temple School. I would have loved to say this why the Commissioner of Education is here, but because my question is connected to the science and technology, I teach art precisely. Now, the current curriculum of art, especially in photography, is just like 30 years ago. Now, when we're dealing with photography in the curriculum we have, it's talking about analog. When we have come out of digital age, connected to the smart technology you're talking about. Now, when is Lagos State coming on board with the reality of today? Because I've had a encounter with the Lagos State Ministry of Education officials at different locations. Okay, I should stop here.
Yes, you've asked the question.
I still have another one. Now, I've done my research, sir. In a lot of public schools in Lagos, they don't have art teacher. And art as a subject is divided into 5 areas. One is graphics, one is textile, one is ceramics, one is painting, and one is sculpture. Even the sculpture is also subdivided. Now, that area, most schools, if a school will have one, which is not enough, when you count 5 schools, 3 will not have. And I challenge the Commission of Education today to move me around. Now, okay, I will stop there.
Thank you. Maybe we should take the second person, then we answer. Thank you.
Can I do that? All right. Good day, everybody. My name is Adini Totoe. I am a teacher. My question is, if you look at Nigeria now, educationally we are backward. Now, so you, sir, is Nigeria a modern society or a traditional society? The number 2, I happened to take some students 3 days ago in science, society, and technology. Then I tried to look at the correlation between these 3 things. I was taking them in the classroom, and it's paying me to my bone marrow that I'm talking to them about science and technology, and I'm teaching them in the 4 walls of classroom, but I'm taking them out to understand things. So finally, I want to use this medium to please beg you, if you can use your office to welcome my students to come to the Ministry of Science and Technology, to come and have a practical knowledge about science and technology, because that's the only way that can move Nigeria forward, not by net teaching them theory.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Very interesting questions. The Commissioner for Education will have done a better job answering the questions, but I will try my best. When you talk about photography, to really have an understanding of photography, you start to be, if you're going to become a professional in that area, you need an understanding of the history of photography, and you cannot achieve that without going through the analog process. Now, today, we're talking about digital photography. So many tools available to do that. Most of the processing is being done on the device. the device can be a camera, a digital camera, it can be a digital SLR, single lens reflex camera, or high definition cameras. So the tools are already available. So what we need to work on is to encourage, so with infrastructure and also the devices, then it makes it easier to deliver the instructions. So I encourage you to continue to work with your students, whatever it takes, to leverage technology. When you talk about ceramics and other, I would say industrial arts like carpentry and so on, there are so many ways to achieve those. And I know I'm not in a position to be able to give you the right answers there. I'll make sure that the Commissioner for Education is aware of this, and the state will work, effectively to make sure we have a way to deliver. If I can ask, are you a teacher with the state or private sector? Private sector. Okay, all right. So I will reach out to you. Thank you. On the second question, we are not educationally backward. Let me put it that way. We have a lot of distinguished Nigerians, but what we need to do is to bring everyone up. We need to close the digital divide. We need to make sure that no one is left behind when it comes to education. And education is not only taking place in the classroom. Education is everywhere. We need to open our minds to new ideas. We need to take steps away from the classroom sometimes to look at what is going on outside the world. I remember when I was growing up, in my secondary school, our Reverend Father will assemble us every morning and tell us about whatever is happening that we're not exposed to within our textbook. Today, that is readily available. If you have a device, you have the internet, you can get your news. But back then, we had to rely on what he told us. And it was at that point in time that he told us about Apollo 11, the mission to the moon, and other things. And I remember some of the things that he taught us stuck to our head, because when I landed my first trip to Washington, D.C., I asked my friend to take me to Aerospace Museum so that